Okay, we had this debate on my show that we just did a couple days ago, Brian. Who is the women's world champion? Because Rhea Ripley came to the ring, and Adam Pearce give her sound like Aunt Lola now. Adam Pearce gave her a brand new title belt and called her the women's world champion. And she gave back the blue belt, which is the SmackDown women's belt, and took the new gold one with white leather in an exact copy of the transaction that Adam Pearce made with Oscar on SmackDown, where Oscar was the Raw women's champion and turned that belt in for a new gold belt. At least it didn't have white leather, and he called her the women's world champion. So what the fuck's going on here?
Vince is back. No, I don't know. I mean, all of a sudden, they rushed the draft. Well, they didn't rush the draft. They did the draft. They tried to pretend like it was going to be a hard draft and people would stick to the shows they were on. And then pretty quickly, there was like an intermingling of this person's wrestling this champion. Okay, what's going to happen? You know, we figured AJ wasn't going to win the Raw belt because he's on SmackDown. But then this Rhea Asuka switcheroo.
Well, but then AJ came to Raw to team with the guy that, Yeah,
the WWE. Nothing makes sense since 1982.
Okay, so while Rhea's belt, it looks good on her, Oscar's is as big as her upper body. Remember, it went from her sternum down to her snavets. Rhea's looks nice because at least the leather is a different color than everything else. Otherwise, they continue to all look basically the same. Dominick came out to celebrate, and then Cody's music plays. And I think, okay, Cody and Dom, we're going to get that set up here because of the altercation they had last week. And, of course, now that Money in the Bank is coming up, the entrance stage has 15 ladders on it. And Cody comes out and does the promo, puts Rhea over, and reveals he has a match with Miz later on. I'm like, Newman. And they show the VTR, Cody points to the screen, so they show the VTR of Dominick slapping Cody last week. And Cody asked Dom for a match at Money in the Bank. And Dominick responds by not saying yes or no, and not answering the question. And Cody presses it. And Rhea steps in and responding for Dominick. He's more of a man than you, but still hadn't answered the question. And Cody says, again, I ask. And they've built this up where Rhea is going to be the one to accept the match for Dominick. And here comes fucking Miz from behind too early and doesn't nail Cody, but is there, and Cody spins around and nails him right as Rhea said he accepts, and it didn't get a pop because Cody was punching Miz and it got stepped on. And then Dominick hit Cody from behind, which was supposed to obviously happen, and then bailed out. So Miz was there one sentence too early and killed the fucking reveal of the thing. Did you basically feel that same way coming out of it?
I don't know. I kind of got a kick out of it because remember last week in Miz TV, Cody was dealing with Dom and Rhea, and he just gave Miz a bonk on top of the head. And that was all it took, and Miz went down. This week, Miz goes to get him. Once again, just gives him the bonk, and Miz goes down. So I'm getting a kick out of that, actually.
But the thing is, the way they had built that up, if Miz hadn't been too early, then Rhea would have said, which she did, but nobody heard it, he accepts, and they would have got a big pop. And then that's when, if Miz had come in, Cody spins around, blocks him, nails him, and Dominick has the chance to take the cheap shot and run, and it got stepped on.
You know, Miz is a comedy figure on that show. I don't care if you're his biggest fan and you think he's really talented. That's the way he's presented. That's the way he is. But beyond that, Cody, Rhea, Dom, this felt like upper echelon people all interacting. So it's really interesting. And Rhea Rhea gives off more star presence than almost anyone there.
Yeah.
Her and Dom are fantastic together. And again, Cody's in the middle of a thing with Brock. This is happening, but it doesn't feel like it's taking anything away from that. And I'm really interested to see where this is going. They're doing it on the pay-per-view, Cody versus Dominic. Is it just a one-off thing and then it's back to Brock? Is it as simple as Brock said, I'm not going to England? Who knows what, but this was one of the good segments on Raw.
And then the bell rang. No, first of all, I will say yes, for pay-per-view, this is a great way to utilize Cody and Dominic while they're waiting for the third match with Brock. And while Brock is his annual hibernation or whatever Cody called it, Dominic's got a lot of heat in a different way than any of the other heels on the roster. And Cody is the biggest babyface. Cody can wrestle Dominic and win, which he has to, but it ain't going to hurt Dom to do the job because his heat is not about right now winning and losing. It's about his gimmick and him and Rhea as a couple and the whole 9 yards. And at the same time, Dominic can be elevated by being in the ring and being competitive with Cody. And you know it's not going to be a bad match because Cody's going to lead it and Dominic's been carrying his end of everything. So it helps everybody. And it's another way for Cody to get a victory and without even not only not hurting, but actually helping one of the heels on the roster. So this is perfect.
Come on, this is the chance. Brandy and Rhea. This is the chance. This is the time. God. This is the time. Hey, one other thing. Cody's super over. Cody has been just a fantastic babyface in everything he's doing there. So what do you guys want to talk about? Opening tagline?
It just doesn't work, does it?
Because there's no reaction. You can't respond to it. Unless you're talking to the viewer at home, and now he's doing it to the building, and they just go, ah, because you can't say, no, inflation. You can't just yell. Like, what are you supposed to yell? Brock! Like, what are you supposed to yell to that or react to that?
Pick your own personal choice. Aunt Fanny's appendectomy.
You know what? Now just say, here's what I want to talk about. And then Brandy can interrupt and say, who told you it was open mic night, bitch? But I'm your husband. I don't care. But other than that, this is good. And, you know, it's not an in-your-house main event, but it's a good, like we said, a good main event between now and whatever's going to happen with him and Brock. The other question is, what are they going to do with Dominic? There's nothing really defined with him right now. He's done with his dad, thankfully. The Judgment Day are having their own internal issues. It appears Finn Balor may be about to do something else. But other than that, what's Dominic really doing right now? They need to find something for him to keep this going.
Yeah, well, and I can see Dominic and Rhea being a couple independent of the Judgment Day. Because Priest, they've obviously got aspirations to be a top single. He wouldn't have had that match the other night. So, you know, but it's good problems to have that everybody's interesting in their own way. And then there's Finn. But speaking of being interesting in their own way, Cody and Miz had a match. And of course, they started it and it went 2 minutes to break. And then coming back in very quick fashion, Cody won as he should, quickly and decisively. And it's The Miz.
You know, Cody, like his dad, the one thing he does just like his dad, not just like his dad, but it reminded me of Dusty here. Like, you believe he's in a battle. You never think he's like half-assing it. Like, you believe that Cody's in some kind of struggle. And you look at him, he's covered in scars and he has blood from his arm, I think, on this one. You know, he looks like a guy in a scrap, as opposed to most guys who are just doing a tumbling routine.
Or what did you say this morning as we were speaking in preparation?
Human juggling.
Human juggling, yes.
We just saw that clip of, what was it, Commander and El Hijo de Vikingo and another guy, just all like dodging each other, noticeably jumping It was human juggling. That was the only thing I could use to describe it.
Well, yeah, they were doing exaggerated drop downs like it was the old shell game, and one of them was covering the P or whatever.
Human 3-card Monty.
And now here's your host at ringside, Monty Hall. Or Monty Rock III, whichever. Nevertheless.
As long as he doesn't pant.
The panting announcer will strike again later.